here. What's up, everybody? It's DJ Clue's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the MMC remixed from their tape line. We have Vulture, which is Laserbeak, and Buzzard, which is Buzzsaw, and they're awesome in terms of packaging anyway. There's some really good stuff here, and then there's some weird stuff, but we're going to talk about it all inside the tape. It comes with the instructions and then a little card. You know, I never show packaging. This is an exception. It's some of the coolest packaging ever done. And they did the same for Ravage, but we're going to talk about these for right now. This is on loan to me from Robert D. Shout out to Robert D. I love you, buddy. And he wanted me to take a look at them. So here we go. Tape modes are questionable on this side. This side looks much better, but then we have the bird face there. I almost wonder, if you could spin that around and make it look better, but I'm not sure that you can. Either way, this side of the tape works in terms of looking like a tape much better than this side, but both of them look okay and neither of them look terrible. They are the size of actual tapes. So we'll talk about the scaling and stuff in final thoughts. I think most of you guys kind of know how I feel about these, but tons of paint and they look tape-ish. Not as clean as I've seen before, but it's not terrible either. And that's really all there is to report. Tons of silver paint and yellow paint and all this stuff. There's stickers. I think this might be a sticker. It looks like it. I can't tell. Yeah, I think so. But either way, it looks good. I think it does the job. Let's get one transformed. Start by opening up these wings. A really cool thing is there's magnets on the inside of these wings, which makes them stick together. Nice thought and keeps it clean. We've spoken before on this channel about how nice it is when they do use magnets, and we'd like to see more, and they did that, so that's good. We can pop the head out if we twist these a bit and get the head out of the way. Now, this seems to be the one issue that I have with this thing, and you know, it could very well be operator error. I haven't looked at the instructions. It's a tape, right? So in my head, I'm like, how hard could it be? But this armature here needs to swing forward, and it is a tight fit, both to get in and out of that little cavity. And I haven't found a great way to do it. There's one. Let's see if I can get the other one. Sometimes I pop the leg off of the ball peg. There's the other. So that worked a little bit better than I've had in the past. So maybe it's just one of those things that you need to kind of loosen up over time. And that allows... Oh, no, we got one that fell off. There you go. And that allows you to push those forward a bit. But let's spin down these wings. That's a tight little tolerance there as well. And then rotate here and here. And then this does come together a little bit more than I'm showing. There you go. And we can flip this up and flip this out and spin this piece here. And then that allows you to spin or bend the whole piece over. Same for this side. You got to be careful that you have the clearance involving this fin and this piece. And there they are, and there he is. I'll get him cleaned up, and we'll take a look at both. And there they both are, and they're pretty cool. I like them a lot. I think the deco comes through in both. I don't know what to say. It's pretty cool. You know, this is a weighted conversation, and I'm chomping at the bit, as you can tell. But let's talk about one. The other one follows suit. We'll just talk about the deco of the other. So, tons of articulation. We have a hinge here at the neck that comes out to a ball peg for the first section of the neck, which comes out to a second hinge and then an additional ball peg. So there is a ton of articulation in the head of this thing. And then there's an additional ab crunch, for lack of a better term, and then the mouth does open. However, like I used a tool, and I used a plastic tool, and there was some paint chipping on the inside of the mouth. I'm guessing it got stuck. So there has been some paint chipping, but there is tons of paint. You know, it's one of those risk versus reward kind of things. But the jaw does open, and it opens to there. So there you have it. Now we have, let's see what else, the wings. So you have this hinge here, and then you have this hinge and a secondary hinge, because that's a double hinge basically. And then you have this piece that spins, you know, where you can kind of get it up like bat wings, so to speak. You know, so that's pretty cool. There's a number, like they are fun. They're fun to mess with. The legs are on these pieces here, and they move out on ball pegs. And then there's this hinge that does move. It is very stiff. Secondary hinge here at the knee. And then we have a lot of articulation for the feet, but just basically tilt stuff for the feet and heel spur. And then no rocker, which is a bit of a bummer on something this size because they could have put it in there. And you know, that would have been nice, but no rocker. But it does have tons of articulation. I think it's ultimately okay. But yeah, and then we have nice silver finish here for the weapons, and then the fins do move a bit if you want to adjust them. So all in all, oh, and then there's stickers on the inside here for the thrusters, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Tons of die cast in it. You know, it's heavy. It's got real heft to it. We'll talk about the deco on this one. Just pretty much the silver and gold. Silver and gold. I would imagine that this opens up as well. It certainly does. Let's see if it's the same on the other one, because this one should be more like a camera. Same thing, which is fine. And then, you know, the deco underneath. But they're pretty cool. I'm going to show them with Ravage, and then we'll do some final thoughts and get out of here. So there it is, there they are rather with Ravage, and I think they look cool together. You know, it's just that Ravage kind of works for scaling purposes. You can justify it anyhow, and these are definitely too big. Now, I don't have access to my MP Soundwave easily, and I'm kind of under time constraints. My middle daughter is quite fond of our British male nanny, Mr. Cody.
Mr. Cody!
Oh dear.
She likes him a lot.
A lot. She needs to relax. So I'm going to use transistor, which is about the same size, and as you can see, it's huge. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much. It's too big to really work with the masterpieces. Now, you know, maybe if you had to suspend it in air or something, you could kind of get away with it, play with perspective a bit, but just all in all, it's a bit more than you would want, I think. And I guess it's worth showing next to the original Masterpiece Laserbeak as well. Now, I think this is perfect. I think this is one of the most amazing things ever. I think they'd knock this out of the park. I think this is good too, but it just doesn't work size-wise, and I think this one still works. This one could be maybe a little small, but overall, I think it works. Final thoughts-wise, the only negatives really are that one hinge that connects the ball peg part of the hip into like the hip itself, like the thigh to the hip, I guess, for lack of a better term. It is a bit of a fit and finish issue there. It is kind of difficult to work around all that stuff, so that's a bit of a bummer. And it would have been nice to have an ankle rocker. Outside of that, I think, you know, it's the elephant in the room, right? They're just, what do you do with them? And that's more of a subjective thing. So I personally think they're too big for the Masterpiece shelf. The only other option really is to have them on a shelf by themselves or in your office or something. Now, people will say, well, they're not intended to be with your masterpieces, and neither are Ravage. And I will say, I don't know if I agree. I think that the Ravage is one of those things that can go either way. I think that the Rumble and Frenzy, which I am super excited about, could go either way. And I think that these cannot, which puts these in a very limited niche kind of pocket, whereas the other ones are a little bit more malleable. Positives-wise, though, I think it's a great set. I think the materials are great. I love the use of paint. I love the use of die cast. I love the use of magnets. I think the transformation is pretty fun and intuitive and enjoyable. The articulation is pretty much stellar across the board with one exception maybe. So do I recommend them? Definitely, as long as you have use for them. This is something that MMC has done that has wowed me. I've been wanting to be wowed by them for a while, and I find this set really, really enjoyable. I find it decently priced, and I think they're fun to mess with, and I think they look pretty cool. It's just finding a use for them. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Till next time, take care.